maybe it's all fabrication, and I am a brilliant writer, but we'll find out. Yes, George.
Did you realize, we met last year,
Yeah.
I've spent a lot of time talking to Mike since. I discovered, after doing some research, because you really surprised me and said, do you really mean that stuff you say? Remember saying that?
Yeah.
And it took me on a 4-hour discussion about this stuff. And I went out and did some research and found that the US government points to a private website that contains all of the information from Oak Ridge National Laboratory. All of the research. They don't have it on government servers, not part of the Freedom of Information Act. And a lot of people are really sort of disturbed and bothered that there are not multiple authoritative sources for this information.
Yeah.
In that,
And China has all this stuff.
yeah, in that information, there's a report from 1968, which is the zero power physics experiments on the molten salt reactor experiment, for which the general conclusions section says this completes our account of the techniques and results of the program of zero power physics measurement on the molten salt reactor. Because the predictions of neutronic characteristics were untested by the experiments prior to the previous release of this document, these experiments and test information are provided here. I'm skipping the rest of this paragraph. And then the last line of this entire document says, dynamics tests at zero power, which were the initial measurements in the continuing program to assess the molten salt reactor dynamic behavior at various stages of operation, give no evidence to support any expectation of operational stability problems in the reactor system. It works. They knew it worked the year I was born. I'm now old.
I'm in engineering physics. I'm a nuclear engineering minor in '74. All this stuff is going on. There's no Rush Limbaugh, no Fox News, none of this other stuff. You just have the rest of the story. So just one comment there.
Can I finish?
Yeah, go right ahead.
The content, all the documents, is 4.2 gigabytes. I have a copy of my laptop. Everybody who gets any inclination or clue, get a copy. Look, randomly read through, and you will be stunned that they have designs, they have explanations, they have scientific research, it's all backed by numbers. This is before they had computers. I mean, my daughter has spent her entire life living with Google, right? Yeah. And these people were doing math on a slide rule, and they figured out how to make this work. And when you start realizing that a 4-foot reactor, which is the point of criticality, can be put onto the back of an 18-wheeler truck and wheeled into any small city in the United States to provide instantaneous free power, you will understand how this changes the world.
It's that $50 quadrillion. Oh, and
I downloaded it all, but if anybody wants a copy, I'll put it up on that.
Of course, the sad thing, this is all occurring in the '70s. If this had gone forward, OPEC would have never have arisen. The $20 trillion that went off there, and that's one of the other things too. In the book I mentioned there, there's a passage in there where the Saudis gave Iraq $500 million to attack Israel, the Yom Kippur War, which is going on during the time Nixon's trying to figure out what's going on, and now some gas shortages, wars going on, Russia's coming in, the United States that might be leading to World War III. He doesn't have time to figure out what's going on, and as I said before, I'm not giving it. Richard Nixon was a mean son of a bitch, but did a lot of nasty things, but I will say, what I saw from the evidence, I think it was a trip to China. He started to feel he could make a difference, and he was tired of the dog whistle from the puppet master, and so he brought in Dixie Ray Lee. Oh, Holyfield was so incensed when he put her chairman of the Atomic Energy Commission, and when she started firing the people he had put in there illegally, that's when she was getting closer to the answer, so he abolished the Atomic Energy Commission, which would lead to the collapse of the Joint Committee on Atomic Energy. And I must admit, they did a masterful job, because we have paid, just the United States alone, I figure, in the 70s versus the gross, my career is energy. In the 70s versus the gross national product, the energy was around 6%. If we had had the thorium, I contend it would have gone to about 4% of the GNP. Instead, for the next 40 years, we've hit 5 recessions because of spikes in energy, but it averaged around 8%. If you take that 40 years by the total umpteen trillions of dollars and multiply by 4%, that comes out $20 trillion. That's just here. That's money that the elites have to do further corruption and so forth. So, which in your room just before you were there, someone was doing discussion on patents and so forth, and how there appears to have been a decline in America sometime in the 70s, and he said that there's another outfit that says the same thing, and there's a book, I don't know if I have it here, it's called Why Nations Fail. I was giving you an excerpt, but it was too low. They too say it happened in the 70s. Something happened in the 70s. And as I told that gentleman, I said it happened starting December 31st, 1969, and it was completed December 31st, 1974. In that 5-year span, that's when they knocked out the technology that would have taken us, which is why in this image here, you see two things. I started in 1903 because that's when Chet Holyfield was born. 1945-46, that's when Oppenheimer and Ayn Rand. 1969 is when they robbed the funds of it. And we can go in one of two directions. We can either go the Star Trek route, where we're on the moon, we're on Mars, and we're maybe leaving the solar system at the end of the 21st century. Or we've gone in this direction with 2002, 9/11, and now all this chaos and strife. And it's because of that guy you heard earlier, Chester Holyfield, who ran away from home at age 13 and worked in the oil fields. And the oil fields wanted a little clothing place for their people, and they learned he had experience, and from there the rest is history. So, I started applauding because I hear people applauding up there. Okay. Oh, it's me.
It is you. I have to say that after last year, because we were here in June, had a birthday party, Labor Day weekend, September. And at my birthday party, I challenged people to watch the first 5 minutes of the Thorium remix.
Oh, yeah.
I challenged them to come into my house to watch the first 5 minutes of a 2.5-hour video where they count down the first 5 minutes, and they were so hooked. My wife's like, "Why are you people in the living room or barbecuing in the back?"
Yeah, yeah.
Like, they stayed to watch. It's really good.
Yeah,
So,
if you get to see the Kurt Sorensen, there's some great stuff from him out there. So, thank you for coming.
It was excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We're hoping, as I said before, if you had looked up geothermal atmospheric liquefied thorium GALT on the internet as of 2 days ago, there was nothing there. Now it says the Atlas Shrugged Society. So it's the beginning. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Time to go to bed.
Yes.
Of course.
So George, how have you been?
I'm good, thank
You
you.
know,
Sorry I missed your barbecue. I wanted my
oh,
lobster.
no problem.